Alright, what's up guys, it's your boy Spiderwolf back for another Umamusume video. So, MEISHO Doto is finally out in the game. We're going to talk about her, if she's worth pulling, as well as the support banner a little bit. But before we get started though, I'd really appreciate it if you guys could drop me a like, comment, subscribe, would really help me out trying to get to 1,000 subscribers before the end of the year. But with that being said, let's get right into this. So, MEISHO Doto is out in the game finally, recording this a little bit later, and then some of my other videos have, been. As well as, got a brand new support card banner with Special Week and Tokai Teo. Pretty simple support banner, easy skip. MEISHO Doto, if you like her, pretty good summon. Otherwise, you don't really need to pull for her. But we'll go into that right now. So, MEISHO Doto. So she has 93 speed, 95 stamina, 85 power, 96 guts, and 81 wit. She has A for turf tracks, E for dirt, so pretty self-explanatory. Really good for dirt tracks, really good for turf tracks, not so good for dirt tracks. I feel like I just said the same thing, but you guys get what I mean. For distances, she has G for sprint, F for mile, A for medium, and A for long. So really good in medium and long races, but not so good in sprints and not so good in miles. For her styles, she has an F for front, an A for pace, B for late, and E for end. So she's really good at being a pace chaser. You can make her work as a late runner, but she sucks at being an end closer and a front runner. For her growth rate, she has 20% on stamina and 10% for guts, so really good at getting stamina, and then also pretty good at getting guts, but everything else not so much. Her unique skill, I never goof up. I always do personally. Aim for the front with unwavering determination when passing another runner from mid-pack or further back on a corner late race. So let's see. So aim for the front. So basically, when she passes another runner, if she's like in the middle or towards the back on the final corner, then basically I'm assuming it's just saying that she's gonna have extra stats to be able to like push her to go even further beyond, So I think that's basically what that's saying. So that's not too bad. Her potential skills here from Ascension, from sending her up. First we have non-standard distance at 90 skill points, moderately increases performance over non-standard distances, non-multiples of 400 meters. Then we have Speed Star at 180 skill points, increases the ability to break out of the pack on the final corner pace chaser, so works pretty well with I Never Goof Up. So pretty similar with that one. Then we have Subdued Pace Chasers, slightly increased fatigue for Pace Chasers early race, which is kind of funny because she's also a Pace Chaser. Then we have Indomitable, the last one. Recover Endurance when passed by another runner mid-race. Also pretty good. Technically still works pretty well if she's a Pace Chaser or a late runner, because that's going to be able to happen, as well as, she's able to do vice versa, right? Past other Umas. But yeah, let's take a look at what other information she does have from Game Tora here. So, we went over this, the unique skill. These are some innate skills she has. So she has pace strategy, slightly recover endurance when passed by another runner, near medium corners, and then prepare to pass. So these are all pretty much the same, as well as awakening here. And then let's take a look at her evolution skills here. So we have, let's see, for the first one here, for Speed Star, we have, Speed Star originally what this one does is increases ability to break out of the pack on the far corner. But now for the conditions for it to upgrade it, we have win the following races: Tenno Autumn, Japan Cup, or have at least 600 stamina and get at least 2 skills for pace aptitude. And then this one will transform into Tempetus speed. And then if you're a leader, which I'm assuming is just like if you're in the front, I guess, if you're in the first half of the pack during the final corner, your speed will increase. So that's pretty good there. This one will work probably really, really well if she's a pace chaser, but not so much as she's a late runner, but that's still not too bad. Then for the last one here, we have Indomitable, which Indomitable basically this one does is recovering endurance when passed by another runner mid-race. And then pretty much for this one is you have to trigger a special event here, or get at least 5 speed type skills, which should be pretty easy, I'd imagine. And this one will transform into I'm Not Giving Up. During the middle part of the race, if someone overtakes you or passes you, I'm assuming, you will your speed will slightly increase and your stamina will recover. A bit of a mistypo here, but that sounds pretty good too. So I think both of her evolved skills here are quite good in my opinion. And then here's some skills she gets from her events. Basically, we have Tactical Tweak, slightly increased acceleration when positioned towards the back mid-race as a pace chaser. We have Prepare to Pass, slightly increased ability to break out of the pack on the final corner as a pace chaser. Up tempo, slightly increased positioning ability when positioned toward the front mid-race on medium races. So pretty good stuff here, just to basically increase some speed or help her kind of break out of the pack, positioning stuff. So not too bad stuff here, but nothing too crazy. Now for her actual races here, we have the usual make debut, then we have to have 6,000 fans, then 150,000 fans, so that's pretty interesting. So you're gonna have to do a couple races for those. Then you have place 3rd or better in the Nikkei Shinshin High, then we have place 1st in the Kinoko Show, then we have place 2nd or better in the Tarazaka Kinen, then we have place 2nd or better in the Tino Show Autumn, then we have place 2nd or better in Japan Cup, and then finally place 1st in the Army Kennen. So not too many things going on here, basically 2 events where you have to have a lot of fans, so basically you have to do a lot of races. Then you basically have to do 3rd or between 3rd and 1st for the next couple races pretty much. So that's not too bad, I'd say, in my opinion, in terms of how many races you would have to do, right? Or at least how much like goals you have to do, right? So not too bad. Granted, some of these might take a couple extra turns, right? But it looks like if I'm correct by it saying previous plus 18 turns here, I'm going to assume that this is just saying if this is like how many turns you have per goal or to reach your goal, then it looks like it's really heavy front load, or like, yeah, heavy front loaded, where you have to do a lot, where, you know, you have a lot of turns at the beginning, but then past that you have very few turns afterwards to really do much of anything other than just race, right? So that could be beneficial for some of you wanting to maybe do quicker dailies, right? But you know, you will have to get through like the front load pretty quickly, but usually the beginning isn't too bad, and you're just gonna probably do training and a couple races here and there, right? Now for the, you know, let's also take a look at the Google Doc here that does have, you know, I'd say it's pretty reliable. I really like using it. Basically lets you know if the UMA is good or if they're bad, and a little bit of a summary, right? So 1 is they're not that great, and then 5 is they're really, really good. So let's take a look at where our girl MEISHO Doto lands. I'm not gonna lie, I do kind of hope this does get updated in the near future, because we're, you know, we're already the last newest UMA here, so, but I imagine this will probably get updated relatively soon. If not, I would assume they maybe have a separate version on the JP version, but that one might be not as reliable, since that one is more towards JP most likely. So some characters that are going to be really good in the future for us on global may not be as good, you know, basically they're just going to be rated differently. Anyways, MEISHO Doto, her ratings are 4 for pace, 5 for team trials, and then 2 as a parent. So she's really good as a pace chaser. She's basically meta for team trials as a pace chaser as well, and she sucks pretty much as a parent, so there's no point in her really running her as a parent. So she's mainly built as like a, you know, a UMA you just use for doing most content in the game. That's not like inheriting any, like she's going to be inheriting skills, but she's not going to be giving really any skills to anybody else, pretty much. So a little summary here. Doto gets acceleration when she passes someone on the final leg or beyond. So if she gets lucky, she can go really, really fast, and but it's not consistent though, which, you know, because yeah, she has to be like in the, you know, meet those 2 requirements, right? She has to get passed by somebody and has to be on the final part of the race, final leg, right? So it's not consistent. So she's just a gambling UMA. Everything else is consistent though in team trials. So basically in team trials she's really, really good, but for everything else you may get lucky, and she may get like the big boost of speed, kind of like Gold Chip a little bit, when she's, you know, she just zooms to the finish line at the very end. So she could have something like that if you get lucky. Otherwise, you know, she might not make it. But yeah, overall pretty good, you know, not a bad UMA. So I'd say overall, if you really wanted to, you could sub of her. She's not like meta in the sense where you really, really need to get her, because the next UMA that we should be getting that will be like basically meta, that's like kind of really worth getting, will be Christmas Oguri Cap, and she will probably be dropping, I want to say, either between December and January, depending on how fast they speed things up with the banners. But I'd say overall, MEISHO Doto, she's pretty cute. So if you do like her, go ahead and have fun. Otherwise, you don't really need to go out of your way. And then of course for the support card banner, easy skip. The cards are not that great, and I don't really think there's any reason to go out of your way for it. But at the same time, do keep in mind that we should be getting a Kitasan Black support card rerun banner relatively soon, so you may want to hold off for that. Might be a good idea, because at this point we should be getting pretty close, I'm pretty sure, to when that should be happening. So you may want to have at least guaranteed pity just in case, so you know you might be able to finish off Kitasan Black when it comes back around in like a couple more months or whatever, because it should be coming out fairly soon. But with that being said though, guys, hope this helps you guys out. Good luck with the summons you guys are planning to summon. Let me know how they go down in the comments below. And with that being said, I'm gonna see y'all later. Peace and take care, everybody.